It's a real personal honor to be able to present this next award. This is for the First Amendment Award for Education. Now, I want you to think back to high school. Some of you might have thought that high school was a bed of roses and nonstop love and acceptance, but for almost everybody in this room, though, I think we remember what it was really like. High school was high school with all its many challenges. But high school often generates real heroes, and I'm going to tell you about one. No one better embodies the democratic fortitude that I mentioned earlier than our next honoree, Christian Bales. In 2018, Christian was the valedictorian of Holy Cross High School in Covington, Kentucky. In his valedictory address, Christian, who was openly gay and gender nonconforming, said, and I quote, and I think it's important for us all who work with young people to really understand the wisdom of this, said the young people will win because we're finished being complacent. There's a misguided notion that wisdom is directly proportional to age, but we're disproving that daily. Sometimes the wisest are the youngest in our lives, the ones who haven't yet desensitized to the atrocities of our world. Therefore, we young people must be the educators. The young people must be willing to speak candidly about issues, and we mustn't tremble in the face of the institutions that try to silence us. That was Christian. The institution that tried to silence Christian was the school where he had distinguished himself as the top student, the valedictorian. And with that achievement, you get to give a speech. Christian was barred from giving the speech during the official graduation ceremony for his class. And that's even after he conceded to the school's demand that he wear, quote unquote, appropriate male dress. And the meaning of that was that the high heels makeup and the floral pantsuit that he wore at the prom was not going to work at the graduation. But even with that concession, there was a problem, and that was with the speech itself. He was told that his speech, and this is a speech in which he said that we are all attempting to perpetuate God's will by bettering the quality of life for those around us. They interpreted that as angry, confrontational, political, and personal. And I quote, and here's what that angry and controversial political and personal speech was about. He also mentioned that he was applauding the efforts of students to move a Confederate statue and was lauding the heroism of the Stoneman Douglas High School students who advocated for common sense gun reform. But Christian didn't tremble in the face of censorship. He was willing to abide by the dress code, but still wasn't allowed to give the speech that he was entitled to give. But he gave his band speech anyway, with a bullhorn outside the auditorium. Now, thanks to his courage, instead of simply reaching an audience of family and friends, and we're honored to have his mother with us here today, Christian speech, yes, to the moms and dads, and his father helped get him the bullhorn that he spoke with, which is also really important. That didn't happen in my day. Anyway, it was covered by the national media and read by and heard by people all over the world. And USA Today network contributor Jeffrey Lee Puckett called it wildly positive and uplifting, and it was. Christian is currently studying biology at the University of Louisville in Kentucky, where he remains an activist fighting against institutional marginalization. He gives us hope that this fight is one that young people will win. And it's good to know at this time, when hate is fed to us in tweets and dog whistles, that heroes like Christian Bales exercises his right to speak with a bullhorn. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christian Bales.
Hello, everybody. Wow, what an honor. I didn't even know I was nominated. No, but in all seriousness, this award really means a lot to me because the First Amendment to me is something that not only allows me to speak the way I would like to, but it allows me to present the way I not only would like to, but need to. And being a non-binary, gender non-conforming person, a lot of us have kind of been pushed into this box of we need to conform to a certain way if we want to be successful in life. You know, going back 20 years ago, which, by the way, I was born in 1999, I know. Just cue the shocked gasps throughout the crowd. I do believe I'm the baby of the group, along with Grace over here. What's up? But there were not people like me back then, and you know, I can read about as many protests as I would like on Wikipedia. I could read about the 1969 Stonewall riots, but ultimately I was not there to make a difference, so I need to today. You know, there was not a person like me when I was born. There were not people who were willing to stand proud and be themselves, or I should say there weren't as many. You know, a lot of queer people have a daily struggle and a decision to make whether or not they want to present themselves as openly and authentically as they can, or whether or not they want to conform in order to ensure survival. You know, it's a shocking, alarming rate of people who want to put themselves into a box because they're afraid of being attacked while walking down the street. And I think that that's something that needs to be addressed, you know. Of course, we've made so much progress since I was born in the last century, but we still have a lot more progress to make, and I'm so proud to be part of that. So I just want to thank you guys for having me be here and listening to me speak in that regard. So I've been told a lot of my high school career that I need to conform, I need to push myself into a specific box in order to fit the standards of these institutions if I want to be successful. You know, there aren't people who are as open and flamboyant and colorful as I am who are being represented in the media as often as we should be. And there aren't people like me who are being offered as many opportunities of success as we should be. So throughout my high school experience, so many people told me, and a lot of times it was out of concern for my well-being, that if I wanted to make it anywhere in life, I needed to push myself into this box of X. You know, I couldn't be Z. X and Y being very binary ideas, being male and female, etc. So I was told that so many times growing up that, you know, it's like a broken record at this point. But it always kind of settled very improperly inside of me. You know, I knew that that was something that I would be told so many times, and whether or not I wanted to accept that as the truth, that was my decision, but I ultimately didn't. And if I would have, then I don't think I would be standing here today in front of you all. So I do want to say thank you guys so much for having me. I want to say thank you to Christy for inviting me out, and thank you to Amanda for contacting me. Thank you to all of the people on the judges panels, to all of you for listening to my story. And whether or not you agree with my decision to speak outside of my high school graduation ceremony, you know, you're allowed to disagree and you're allowed to verbally express that because of our First Amendment right. So please don't forget that going forward. Thank you guys.